Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri, and is the world's first single barrel only liquor store. This business is owned and operated by Steve Akeley and Jim Fosnot. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to sign up for their email and text distribution list. That way you'll know what they have in stock, what classes are coming up, and what barrel picks they have in the works. We are also sponsored by The Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers a fully customizable carrying case that allows you to take your favorite distilled spirits or cocktail ingredients with you. Whether you're looking for yourself, a customized gift, or logo items for your business or event, The Bar to Go can help. Check them out at thebar2go.com. Use the number 2 when you type out The Bar to Go. Did you know Neely Family Distillery now ships its popular distilled spirits directly to you? To order, simply call 859-394-3258. Tell them the ABV Network sent you. And now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we discuss the $20 million expansion by Traverse City Whiskey Company. My name is McNew. Please join me in welcoming my co-host, Steve Akeley, along with our special guests, Bo Cumberland, Ryan Thompson, and Nate Weiniger.
Hey, gang, what's up?
Hey, everybody.
What's up, Steve?
Hey, so yeah, we've got a fun show today. We're going to be talking about Traverse City, $20 million. We're gonna lean on Ryan here to tell us what he'd do if someone threw $20 million at him. We'll get to that after the break. For right now, Bo said there's something he wanted to talk about. It's a sequel to our previous small talk of dream questions. So what do you got, Bo?
So the part 2 to this dream sequence is: have you guys ever, say you had a friend from way back in a previous life, in your 20s or whatever?
Uh-huh.
Have you ever, out of the blue, had a dream about someone that you haven't seen in years, and the next day or a few days later, you run into them, you cross paths, you hear from them, just out of the blue?
Out of the blue. No.
All the time. All the time.
McNew talked about that on the last one, that that stuff, weird stuff happens to her.
And it's so bizarre. It's like the most uncanny feeling when it happens. Like I will either run into them like while grocery shopping or like back visiting my mom in our hometown, or they'll just send me a text out of the blue to be like, hey, thought of you. How are you? I'm like, I haven't talked to you in 15 years. But I mean, I do, but I would have dreamed about them the week before, and I'll forget about that dream and be like, wait, I just thought about you. It's so bizarre. It's always a weird feeling when it happens. Yeah. Like it's not a bad feeling. It's just so weird and uncanny.
Yeah, I agree. That stuff does happen. And sometimes it's not even, you think about your true friends and stuff like that, and you're thinking, well, sometimes you lose track of friends and maybe they make it. Sometimes it's just like the most minor person that you worked with hardly at all. And it's like,
it was an acquaintance.
What are you doing here? Why are you in this stream? Yeah, it's just weird. It's
exactly.
It doesn't work out. So yeah, it's a bit player in your life, but somehow they make it into the dream. What about you, Ryan? You asked the original dream question. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, well, Bo, nice follow-up here. And it kind of weirds me out when there's someone that enters my dream I haven't even thought about, unbeknownst to my conscious, at least, in 20 years or so. And then they pop up in my dream and I wake up, I'm like, what the hell is that about, right? But I don't think it's really ever happened where it comes to fruition, where I hear from them the next few days thereafter. But who knows? Maybe tonight's the night. So we'll see.
Tonight's the night. Yeah. Yes. How about you, Nate?
I mean, I definitely dream about people like that all the time, that from history or past or even brief people that I knew.
Flings.
And whatnot. But I don't ever. What did you say? The what?
Flings. Brief. You sort of said brief, and I thought it was flings. Yeah.
No flings, Steve.
Okay.
I hardly ever run into anybody like that. I don't know. Maybe it's like even from high school, I don't, or from.
Okay. You're at the grocery store and you do recognize someone from high school. Do you go approach them or do you duck the other aisle? Because I said to the other aisle. I'm not going to talk.
It's pretty simple. I turn and run the fuck the other way. Because one thing I hate is small talk. That is one thing I cannot stand. So
This
if
actually, this
No.
happened the other day at a gas station. So I hate going to this gas station, but it was like the most convenient to go to at the time. So I pop in there, like it's like after work hours. It's like maybe 4:35. So I pop in. I see a girl from high school who I like. It was like a frenemy situation. Like girls are weird, and I fucking see her, and I'm like, I'm not even friends with her on Facebook. I deleted a lot of people. I'm like, don't see me, don't see me. I literally sat in my car for 10 minutes staring down at my phone. So I did not have to get out and walk in when she would be walking out because I saw her walk in. I was like,
Oh. And McNew, the funny thing about McNew is she doesn't know a stranger in the world. So people she doesn't know, she talks to all the time. You hang out with McNew, yeah. But someone she actually knows, she's not going to talk to.
no, I love a stranger. So this small talk is going to go way too long, but like Chris is like, you are the most social person until it's somebody like you sort of know, and then you want nothing to do with them. And it's because they're the in-between people. They're the people like I know of because of mutual acquaintances, but I don't know them. They don't really know me. So it feels awkward. It feels weird. It's like, I know too much about you, but I don't know you at all. So it feels weird. So I'd rather just talk to a whole stranger rather than like an in-between person.
Yeah. I'm the same way. I don't want to talk to people I used to know. I guess being a male overweight, they could say anything they want about you too. They're like, "Oh man, you're fat," or "Well, that's a lot of gray hair." Boy, you don't have any hair on the top of your head anymore, huh? Yeah. They could say anything. I'm going to offend somebody about anything I say. For me, anything goes, apparently. You could say whatever the fuck you want when it comes to me, because I've lived it. They'll say literally anything. Jesus Christ, you're fat. You just get older every time I see it. I mean, I can't believe we're the same age. Shit like that. It's like, God damn, thank you.
Maybe that's why I never run into anybody that I used to know, because they run the other way as soon as they see me. So that might be the opposite. That might be what's happening. So,
Bo, what about you, man?
So I got two stories, and I'll make them really quick. But the reason I brought that up is because the two most prominent times that's happened to me is
you might need to refresh the audience with what the original question was.
Having a dream, and then you come in contact with that person.
There you go.
So about 2 years or a year or two before I moved to Kentucky, so I'd been in Tennessee for 17 years, but I had this dream about this kid that I knew in high school. And I mean, it was just he was in my dream. It wasn't anything weird or whatever, but and I woke up the next day and I told my wife, I said, you remember this guy? And she said, oh yeah. And that night, the guy calls me out of the blue and was telling me, he had some family issues and stuff. So he was just calling. He needed somebody to talk to. And so he called me, and I hadn't talked to this guy in probably 25 years.
That's wild.
That is.
And the other one, the one that's weirder than that. So right after me and Heather got married, we were going to this church. And there was in the youth group that they had at the church, there was these twins. One of them was really outgoing and just kind of everybody loved him. One of them was real quiet and reserved and nobody liked him. He was just weird,
Right.
So one night I have this dream that the really outgoing one, he died. Like he just died in my dream. I know what the kid looks like. I don't know his name. I don't know anything about him. So I woke up. This was a Saturday night. I woke up on Sunday morning. And I told Heather, I said, do you know that kid that everybody? So she knew who I was talking about. I said, this kid, that's the twins. He's the one that everybody likes.
He's the good one.
Yeah, he's the good twin.
Not the evil twin. He's the good one.
I had a dream that he died. It's just this weird dream. I don't know him. I don't know anything about him. And I shit you not, this is the God's honest truth. We go to church that day and everybody's like huddled up around the door. This kid died in a car wreck the night before.
What?
Yeah, you can ask Heather. My hand to God, that's the honest truth.
That's wild, man.
I would freak, like cold chills. I would freak out. That's wild.
Wow.
It was the weirdest experience I've ever had in my entire life.
My God. If you'd have told that to the church people, they might have turned on you. They would like, you killed him.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't.
Oh, you're a witch.
Right.
Yeah, I think I am. So yeah, those were my two experiences.
Yeah. Oh, hence the question, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's weird. That is. How did you know it was the person? Because I'm sure they were like, those two twins, and the one that was kind of good, and the other one was really weird. Nobody liked. It was the good one. How do you know
they weren't like identical twins?
Did you know the guy's name or not?
No, I know not. I mean, just you know him.
How did you know that they're huddled around talking about this person? Maybe it was just someone else randomly. Yeah.
No, because when we got there, they were, once we got into church, everybody was like, this kid like died. Like, it was evident who it was.
Right.
Weird.
Wow.
Interesting.
Steve, are you like a dream investigator, man? Making sure I don't know.
I'm fact checking Bo right now. Yeah.
Fact checking the dream.
All of them should.
Yeah.
Man,
all right. Well, on that note, it's time to drink. What does everyone drinking? Let's start with McNew. McNew, what do you got?
Some Basil Hayden red wine cask finish.
Oh, how is that? We started carrying that in the shop in our auditors.
I actually
Jim got it because he's tasked with filling the shelves, and we open up the box. I'm like, what? What do we got here? What are you doing to me? And,
I really like it, but I do like the wine finish. I like the wine barrel finished bourbons, and some people don't, and that's fine. I do like them. I do like this one.
All right.
Still, like not a high proof by any means. Like I would clearly drink this like it is a bottle of wine. I'm a problem, but I like it. So.
Okay. Nice base. Could be enough to win. This group's pretty pathetic, so it could win. Nate, what do you got?
I've got a Yellowstone hand pick collection. It's a 5280 pick that was barreled in 2014, actually.
Okay.
I had sushi tonight. My hands are pretty greasy. I can't even get this cork out.
What happens when you pass? I've never seen anyone pass.
It's never happened. He's using his teeth.
You don't use your
Can't
teeth.
get it off.
Yeah. Can't get it off.
It,
I'd have to say McNew still has the lead based on that. Yeah. Has anybody tried the Yellowstone family recipe? Oh man, that's the best thing they ever made. That is fantastic. I love that stuff. Man.
Did you get it?
I cannot get it off. I don't know what happened.
Okay.
It looked like you were pouring it in like a big fork out of the refrigerator.
I don't know what, it's like it is like stuck on there. Like, and my hands are a little like they're not the best.
I try to open it up before you can ever open it. Their corks are not friendly.
Yeah, true. Well, all right, Bo, you're next. What do you got?
I'm gonna go with a Neely Family Distillery.
Okay.
This is one of their single barrels.
Okay. Wow. Something different.
Yeah, something different from this.
Yeah.
It's actually their vanilla bark. It's a really good one. So
vanilla bark. Okay. Nothing.
Oh, I heard it.
I didn't hear anything. McNew's got the lead. Yeah, silence. All right. Ryan, you're next.
Well, we're going to just pull out our latest release here from 10th Mountain Whiskey here in Vail, Colorado. A little 10th Mountain American Single Malt.
Okay.
Let's see what happens here.
Okay. All right. Not a lot going on there. McNew's still got the lead with that Basie one she had. I've got Widow Jane, the Vaults. This is last year's, the 15-year. So let's see what we got here.
Oh,
I think that was enough. Unfortunately, as sad as that is, that was enough to win this thing. Nate finally got his, so there you go.
Hey.
Congratulations to Nate. Not enough to win, though.
Big build up, but
yeah. Cheers, dang.
Cheers.
All right. We'll take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to be talking about a $20 million expansion, not to one of the big guys. We're talking about to a craft distillery. We'll do that in just a few. Let's talk about the people who make these shows happen. First up is the ABV Barrel Shop. It is the most unique shopping experience in the world of bourbon, as the ABV Barrel Shop only sells single barrels. Owners Steve Akeley and Jim Fosnot select. With over 100 distilleries on board to sell us barrels, we are home to the most unique and diverse barrel pick selections in the bourbon world. By signing up for our email, you will always know what we have in stock. In addition to the single barrels, we'll have a gift shop featuring ABV Barrel Shop as well as ABV Network merchandise. We are partnering with vendors like Art Eatables and Old Man Bay Signs to bring you unique items you can't find anywhere else. We will also have a 24-seat classroom where we are offering educational and fun classes like Breakfast and Bourbon, a series where we pair donuts and bourbon, customer barrel picks, and opportunities to learn from master distillers and other bourbon dignitaries. Best of all, we feature a tasting bar where you can try before you buy. All of this is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri. If you are in the St. Louis area, please stop by to say hi. If you're traveling in from outside the area, please take advantage of our hotel rates with the Drury Inn and Pear Tree Inn, less than a mile from our shop. This can be done via the links in our Visit St. Louis section on our website. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to plan your trip. The ABV Barrel Shop. It's where single barrels live. Hi, this is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network. We're sponsored by the Stave and Thief Society. This is where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge a bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my Executive Bourbon Steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification program available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. Okay, let's talk about the Neely Family Distillery. In 2018, I met Royce Neely at an industry event. He started appearing on our shows, and we became friends during my frequent trips to Kentucky. Today, he is amongst the leaders of young distillers leaving their mark on the bourbon industry. A visit to Neely Family Distillery yields insight on their unique family history, why their products are special, and gives you the opportunity to taste their whiskey, moonshine, and creams. Check them out at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com or visit them in Sparta, Kentucky.
Hello, this is Jeff from Iowa, and you're listening to The Bourbon Daily.
Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. Today we're talking about Traverse City's whiskey company's biggest expansion.
Yes, we are. $20 million for Traverse City Whiskey Company. That's wild. Ryan, I mean, I would assume Traverse City is on par with probably where you're at.
Yeah.
But now they got $20 million going into the place. What do you think about that?
Yeah, you know, I've been following these guys' path and the whiskey industry. I don't know them at all. I know they've been in our tasting room and come out to Vail to ski a time or two. So I know we've crossed paths. Our brands have at least, but I can't speak to the fact I don't know these guys by any means. But when I hear something like this, I always wonder how much equity they had to give up in order to get 20 million. You know, what value was the company valued at? And that's unreleased, and you know, it's all good that it's not released, but that's what crosses my mind, is how much equity is given up in one of these deals. But certainly, you know, $20 million is gonna make for a great expansion for them. I haven't ever been to their current place, and I don't know what their next plan is. Have you guys ever been to their place up there in Michigan?
I have not. No.
Yeah.
No, they've been on several events with us.
Yeah,
but,
right. Okay, sure.
Yeah, but no, never been to their event. I mean, to their place. No,
yeah, right. And I haven't even tasted their whiskey yet either. I'd love to, but certainly going to make. I'm sure it's a huge investment for them. If just sitting here thinking, if I had an extra 20 million bucks lying around, what I'd do with that? I'd probably go buy a nice place in the country somewhere and put some rack houses up or something along those lines. But yeah, I'm not in a position to, or nor do I want to sell any equity at this point. And so we're going to keep on keeping on our current path. But you know, it's exciting to see what happens and what they do with it. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's such an interesting business because there are so many ways to go about this thing. I mean, you can try to just be the greatest brand that you're ever and focus on selling things out of your gift shop. You can focus on, you know, building up distribution over the time. You can focus on becoming the next big thing by taking on investors and things like that and try to ramp up quickly. There's just so many different ways to do this thing. It's interesting to see what lane people choose. So,
and another part that never really gets released is who put up the 20 million. Was it one person? Was it a group? Was it another corporation, another company? Is it smart money that's in the business? Is it just is it an attorney that did well in a class action lawsuit in Michigan somewhere and's got some extra money to play with and wants to say that he's part owner of a whiskey distillery? So you never know those kind of details. And those are the kind of details I'd like to know.
Yeah. If I hit that $1 billion lottery, wouldn't it be fun just to do something like that and then just for the write-off purposes, be like,
right, exactly.
I got to throw 20 million bucks somebody's way. I'll throw it at Ryan's way, and that way I can write this off. Yeah, see what he does with it.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So
Ryan has a gold toilet in his office bathroom and stuff.
Right.
That's where that money would go. It'd be amazing to go
bidet,
visit.
Steve. That's bidet money right there.
It's part
Bidet
of the
money.
aesthetic. It just made sense. You've been waiting for that money for that.
Well, what do you think about that? 20 million bucks can buy you a hell of a distillery. And again, these guys are doing pretty good. I mean, they're certainly on the smaller side, but they're not, I wouldn't even say they're medium size, but I'd say they're smaller size plus, because they do have some distribution out there. I know their products are in Missouri, and I see it in other places as well. I see them when I'm in Kentucky. So they're out there a little bit. What do you think about $20 million on a company like that when you hear that news?
I think, like Ryan, it's like you just wonder, like, what did they give up for that? And I look at my friends who have distilleries that are in the industry, like Royce Neely or whatever. It's like, at what point, like, what are you trying to accomplish? And
right,
I mean, Royce isn't in 50 states, or he's not worldwide, but he's well known. He's doing a great job, and so you just wonder, like, what changed. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing at all, but just, what changed for you to be going down the path you are. And now, what, like you said, what did you give up, and, where is it going to lead? So, I mean, time will tell that. So, but
yeah, because it's giving up that, and that always means I have a hard time with that. And I realize, based on, my work with Bo, the things that we produce are way over scale of what we put into it. And it feels like, we could take some of the projects that we've done and present them to the people with money in the business and, get some distribution and things like that. But then at the end of the day, then we're working for them. And I don't want to go to work for someone and then, they're telling us, okay, you're going to be filming at this distillery on this day. And by the way, have their 2 assistant distillers get in a fist fight that day. That'll be good for the movie or whatever. Yeah, we don't want to do something like that. That's not who we are. We like going and filming the real stuff, and we realize that's going to limit the audience and limit our ability to make a bunch of money off of it. But we're not trying to make a bunch of money. But that's what's good about us working together. We're just both kind of comfortable with what we are, and we want to do for the industry. We want to help elevate the industry and tell those stories. And to me, it's much more important to preserve the stories that are out there. And everything that we've got is a mini time capsule, and that can be viewed forever. And long after I'm gone and Bo's gone and anybody else associated with that, people will be able to look back. I mean, you don't even know how important things are when you're doing them. We shoot a movie called Blending is Trending, and we go in and we spend a day with the great Al Young, last movie he ever appeared in. We spent a day with him filming that, and he told the whole story of Four Roses, and I've heard him tell that story before. Has it been preserved on film the way we got it? I don't know. I don't know that I ever saw him tell the complete story, and we got it. I think that's important. I think a movie like that, as people want to study this industry, not 10 years from now when that's all fresh in everybody's mind, but 50 years from now, 100 years from now, maybe someone's looking at that and being like, oh, wow, I had no, Al Young. I know his name was on a bottle, and this guy must have been a big deal. And hear him, that's the stuff that gets me going. That's what excites me about this business. So, yeah, $20 million though. You hate to think.
It's a chunk of change, isn't it? It's
a
chunk.
It is a chunk of change.
Let's be real. I mean, it probably only bought like 2 rick houses in this day and age.
Yeah.
Right.
You're not wrong.
Rick houses and a lounge or something.
Yeah.
When I saw that, though, I immediately thought, like, oh, they're probably buying more land, either for rick houses or farming, because they do like get their cherries.
The cherries, I did hear that's part of it too. They're upgrading their facility to sell more of those cherries. So that could play into it. Yeah. But, Nate's not wrong. I went to a distillery recently and, really great. They're not in Kentucky, but they built a Kentucky style rick house. And the owner told me, hey, that's $7 million. What you're looking at right there. It's big. It holds a lot of whiskey.
Ridiculous.
$7 million for basically what's not much different than like the storage shed in my parents' backyard. Right. It's like that. It's expanded and then it's got bricks in there, but it's kind of the same layout, really.
That's a lot of wood and a piece of land, but right. How much that costs.
Yeah. So yeah, Nate's not wrong about that.
To me, though, it still is exciting that again, there's a lot of risk in the whiskey world and being in this business, and there's a lot of unknowns and things you don't have control over. So that somebody's willing to invest $20,000 and continue to invest in the whiskey industry and invest in Traverse City. I mean, I think there's some positives to that. That even with kind of where things are at right now, economy wise, and some of those things, that someone's still saying, you know what, this is a good bet. Whiskey is growing. It's still a good bet. And wherever that came from, like, I have no idea who, like you said, you guys, who that's behind. But obviously, someone with that money is not going to throw bad money typically at something. So
yeah, good point, Nate.
It's going well. Yeah.
Yeah. If you have the ability to write a $20 million check, you've been pretty smart in business, I would assume. And yeah, you're not going to just hand that money out. So yeah, there's definitely something to invest in there. So good stuff. And wish him the best, Chris Fredrickson, good guy. And hopefully he does well with what's going on here. And hopefully it helps his dreams come true, whatever they are. So enjoy what they do for sure. All right, we'll wrap this one up as we always do by talking about where people can find us. Nate, we're starting with you. Where can people find you?
Yeah, 5280 Whiskey on Instagram, hidden _barn on Instagram, hiddenbarnwhiskey.com, 5280whiskey.com.
All right, Bo.
I'm across the social medias on my journey through the American spirit and Facebook and YouTube under Bourbon Sasquatch.
All right, Ryan.
Across all socials at 10th MTN Whiskey, and our website's 10thwhiskey.com. That's 10th, whiskey with an E.
All right, McNew.
I'm on Instagram at McNew ABV.
I am across all socials as Steve Akeley. That's AKLEY. And including my website, steveakeley.com. And of course, our website, though, is abvnetwork.com. I always encourage people to check that out if they haven't done so already. We try to put everything out there. We've got over 3,000 shows you can listen to, so there's plenty of content out there. If you want to get lost in some of that, it's abvnetwork.com. And please come by and see us. We love meeting people that listen to the show. It's fun to, when people walk in and be like, I recognize that voice immediately, and that's kind of cool stuff. So check us out, abvbarrelshop.com. We are in St. Louis, Missouri. McNew, anything else to say before we get out of here?
I would like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review. That includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. And if you like what we're doing, we ask that you please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/the ABV Network.
All right, great job today, gang. For our audience, we'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Bye.
Cheers, guys.
Peace. Before we finish the show, let's talk about some great companies that support the ABV network. First up is Moonshine Still Pro. Moonshine Still Pro has a full line of products to help the home distiller. Whether you want to experiment on the stove in your kitchen or you're looking for a bigger setup in your backyard, owner Russell Creed and his team can help. They have multiple still offerings, accessories, and even grain from their partners at Goldstone Mill to assist you in making whiskey on par with your favorite distillery. They can also help you with some fabricated parts you probably can't make yourself if you are attempting a DIY still project. Learn more or order your still or parts at moonshinestillpro.com. Another friend of ours is the Goldstein family at Goldstone Mill. The Goldsteins offer a variety of heritage and heirloom grains to make the finest whiskeys in the world. Plus, they are more than just a grain company. They are truly consultants to make sure the grains they are providing to you or your business meet your highest expectations. Additionally, they work with mills around the country, ensuring shipping is as low as possible for their customers. If you're a distillery, brewery, or even doing this at home, Goldstone can assist you. Check them out at goldstonemill.com, call them at 217-254-6613, or check in via email at hello@goldstonemill.com. Last but not least is the ABV Barrel Shop. While we don't get to play in the allocated bourbon game because we aren't selling the other products you have to do to get those, we do have access via our friendships in the bourbon industry to some really cool stuff. Have you ever seen your favorite craft distiller selling some really cool limited offerings only in their gift shop? I'm talking things like the hazmat offering Distillery 291 did for their 10th anniversary, or Neely Family Distillery's Papaw's Birthday Barrel. They don't have enough of it to send it out to distributors, so they only sell it via their gift shop. Well, companies like Distillery 291 and Neely Family Distillery have agreed to sell us 2 or 3 cases of these offerings moving forward, meaning our store will have the access to some of the rarest whiskeys in the world. Way more difficult to come by than the allocated bourbon offerings with the national release. Yes, they will be extremely tough to come by, but if you're a customer of our store, you'll have a chance to get them. Get signed up for our email or text list over at abvbarrelshop.com so you don't miss out.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.